Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Ragucci, and here with a few friends from the Delaware County area. We get in the basement and we talk about a certain topic. Today's topic, well, we're going to be talking all about our guest, Mr. Matthew Kelly, Delaware County's own. He does a YouTube channel. We wanted to get him on the podcast. Very much different content from ours, but you know, it's kind of cool to like get with other content creators in the area. Matt,
whoa,
welcome,
I'm not
man.
getting with him. That's disgusting.
Come on.
Dude.
You know, when
podcast.
I said it, I was like, that's the first thing I thought of, but I was like, it makes sense.
This is disgusting. I'm sorry.
Welcome, Matt. Welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, yeah.
Appreciate it.
And you know, fucking trio.
Final. God. He introduces me second and also fucking trio. All right, Gooch. I
You
see
didn't-
how this
you didn't
podcast
even
is
get
going to
the
go.
full name.
Yeah, I really didn't give me anything.
Beers around. This is how
Yeah,
it's
I know.
gonna
All
go,
right, this is going to be
podcast.
downhill from here. All right.
So maybe before we jump into stuff, Matt, why don't you just introduce yourself? Tell people what like your channel is. What do you do?
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
all that
Yeah, I
jazz.
started a YouTube channel. I believe it was a little over a year ago, mainly guitar related. I wanted to kind of because I play guitar. That's what I want to do my whole life. I was like, I might as well just teach, kind of learn that way, meet people, network through that, and things like that. So I started the YouTube channel. Started a TikTok, unfortunately, but that actually worked out pretty well.
Your TikToks,
for me.
you followed us the other day.
TikToks
I'm
can
like,
blow
whoa.
up for some reason.
Like thankfully, like most of the subscribers I have came from TikTok.
That's why we got on TikTok.
I'll give Gooch
exactly,
no,
yeah.
Gooch was saying that. He was.
Yeah.
But
And
that's
then-
awesome.
Yeah, and then Instagram, they don't. I was doing that for a while, but it's slow. It's
tough.
So I was like, I'll
weird,
just
yeah.
TikTok and YouTube. I focus on those two things. But yeah, mainly guitar stuff. I'm in a band, things like that. So
Yeah,
What's the name of the
yeah.
band for the
the
fine folks?
Dead Pockets single coming out February 11th.
Where
Yeah.
can they find it?
Spotify. You can follow us on Instagram at the Dead Pockets.
There we go.
Check
Go
it
follow
out.
'em.
I'm
Check it
gonna,
out.
of course, the links are in the description for
Of course,
everything
yeah.
relevant to Matt, and then at the end we'll
We'll give the whole spiel.
we'll do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before we jump in to talk about all that good stuff, Matt, what have you been playing, doing, watching? What's new?
Maybe even reading. I don't know.
Reading.
Yeah.
I've been actually reading a lot of books.
Oh.
I'm a little of a nerd. But
I
anyway.
love, that's,
I've been reading too, actually.
Matt, you're on the Delco Nerd Network right now.
yeah, shit, I guess that worked out well.
It is relevant.
But no, I decided to actually watch some new shows. I'm a big Dexter fan. I listened to your review.
I heard
really enjoyed
I'm
it.
very at odds, I've realized, with a lot of people.
Yes.
Really?
Some
Yeah,
people
I'm
hated
incredibly
it.
at odds. Like I've
it's
noticed.
one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
okay.
I'm seeing a lot of negative, but I'm sorry, I interrupted.
How do you end that show? Seriously though.
That's what I
Either
mean.
jail, dead, or he gets away. Again.
What I keep seeing online is people are saying they wanted the Dexter manhunt season of like him being chased and then the cops getting him and he actually have. But I'm like, I don't know, man. I think they did a good job and gave me, at least me, a satisfying ending for sure.
I enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
Some people did not think the same.
No, I keep hearing.
Can't please everybody.
No, it's it does seem divisive.
That was like Game of Thrones at first. I was like on the side of like, guys, you're being haters, and then like eventually I like turned into one myself.
Dude, I have a stark memory. Just quick side tangent of Game of Thrones.
That,
and
like, 2
Battle of
weeks.
the Bastard. We would have a watch party. Everyone would get together. It would be so much fun. Battle of Winterfell happens at the end. Everyone's like, "It was pretty good. That was pretty good." I'm sitting there silent, and Super goes, "Joe, you all right?" I'm like, "Guys, I don't think that was good." Did
you see anything?
No. Think about it. for
No,
a
it was
second.
fun, and it was funny because like I didn't even think that was the worst part. It was just like I was like there was so much to not happen. But anyways, we don't have to get into all of Game of Thrones. But yeah, no, I was satisfied with Dexter
Yeah,
for sure.
Dexter wasn't too bad. Then since I got Showtime, I started watching Yellow Jackets. to
How
give
is
a
that?
Try.
Is that
Okay.
about bugs?
It seems like some weird cult thing, right?
Yeah, yes and no. So Lost is my favorite show of all time.
Great
Gotta
time, great show.
rewatch it.
I've watched it like way too many times.
Yeah,
but
it's
there's
great.
so many parallels to Yellow Jackets. Like it's like a bunch of teenagers, they crash, and then from the 90s on in the middle of nowhere.
So it's like Lord of the Flies.
Sort of.
Yeah,
And
we're
then but
getting-
they show the future them, present them, and then like past them. So
Okay.
it's kind of like Lost in that way.
Sure. You don't. Does it?
So
and
it's-
do you
and
know
it's
that? Do
jumping.
they know you? Or I'm sorry. Do they really heavily implicate that these are different time periods? Or
Yeah,
do you
heavily,
know?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if they're
I guess you know, yeah,
older, or
duh.
younger, or
It's-
looking different.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It is.
It's not. I think it's worth watching.
That's on Showtime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I have to check it out.
Definitely check it out.
It's funny. All these streaming services, man. It is.
It
Everything has.
is getting to a point where it is
I still think it's-
absolutely ridiculous.
I agree, but I do also think it's nice that you can just pick. It sucks that you have to cancel it yourself, but you can pretty easily pick and choose what you want to watch on a monthly basis, and it's probably still less than a full fucking cable.
Yeah.
Like setup.
If you got everything, debatable.
I think if you
paying for
if you
live
add
TV.
them all up, I think it's $160 for every single streaming service. I think if you get a cable package with every single thing, it's like $300 a month. Or
What
something
are
like
you
that.
paying for just internet?
We pay $90 a month for just our internet. And that's all we have.
It sounds like a good life.
It's great. I mean, it's all because it's all streaming, and I mean, it's amazing how every fucking TV is just a smart TV now. So.
Yeah. I just borrow all my buddies' passwords.
No, that's
about it. I'm not.
Super
not
gave
doing all that
us
stuff.
Paramount Plus, and he has my Disney Plus. So
Yeah, I had Paramount
Even
Plus for
exchange.
2
Yeah.
days.
What'd you say?
I had Paramount Plus for 2 days to watch the South Park specials, and then I'm like, all right, see ya.
No, yeah, that's exactly what we use it for.
Yeah.
It's all like Nickelodeon shows, like old
Yeah,
shows and
and the
stuff.
iCarly that came back,
Did
right?
you watch it?
No.
Neither did I.
It
might-
kind of seems interesting.
I might actually. I forgot that's on there. Since I have it for free, I might give
iCarly review?
that a peek. Yeah, we're doing an iCarly review coming soon.
Yeah, listen, I'm a big fan of the old
Yeah,
stuff.
this just really doesn't seem to hold true to the characters that I really
Yeah.
grew up and loved. But,
Anything else?
No, not really, man. I mean, besides books. But
What do you read?
What have you been reading? Yeah.
I've been reading The War on Art, things like that. Just things that can help you with like.
Okay. Yeah, like more technical
it was
type stuff. Yeah.
What's the one I just read? Of course, you can't think of it when
No, of course.
Yeah, it's all right.
But-
Bring it up right now.
There's
We
always
need to hear-
something
yeah.
you forget about on the
self-help
podcast.
books and things like
No,
that.
dude, those
just
are
with your
good.
brand
Seriously,
and things
yeah.
like that,
I've been wanting to read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck for a long time.
I hear good things.
But I have a backlog right now, and I'm just like, I need to get rid of this backlog
Sure.
of comics and shit that I'm reading.
Yeah.
And then I want to get around to that. But I'm not into audiobooks.
Neither am I.
I want to
Audiobooks?
hold the book and
Yeah. Hard.
you get
It's
you
not
get
even
more out
about
of
that
it.
for me. It's more like you need to pay attention to audiobooks in a way that you don't need to pay attention to podcasts or something like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Like I can sit in a car and listen to an audiobook and you understand it. But if I'm doing things while I'm listening, I get distracted and I have to rewind
Like,
and
you
not
can clean and listen to a podcast.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Can't, do anything else. Yeah. You're not
like
gonna-
you can
you're not gonna
drive and listen to an audiobook.
Yeah.
That's the most that I find is like
Yeah.
a distraction.
And guess what? I ain't driving that.
No, exactly. So it's like,
do it.
what's the
Nah,
point?
not at all.
Still working from home.
What about you, Gooch?
Yeah, just a lot of game stuff recently since we recorded 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Like a week
Usually
ago,
I have
I
a
think.
fucking plethora of things.
Didn't we record last week? Am I going crazy?
We recorded
Rewind
Rewind
reviews,
reviews,
which are
not-
coming soon. And little sizzle, you're gonna have a good. I don't want to say anything else because I'm gonna accidentally spoil it. So
Sorry, that was
it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for those ones.
Yeah, so one thing I've been doing, Tria, which I've been going back to Red Dead Redemption 2. Have you played that?
It's the last game I played.
It's great.
It's yeah.
Yeah, so
It's a masterpiece.
I'm basically because I'm crazy. I like to 100% games and get all the achievements and stuff. So I 100%ed Red Dead, and now I'm going back into the missions and getting gold ranks on them, which is a very tedious fucking process.
Oh, yeah.
It's very weirdly set up too, with because they only give you certain. Do they give you all your guns? I'm trying to remember how the replay sets up.
Yeah,
You'll have a
you don't
limited
get all
amount of
your
ammo
items.
though,
You
right?
don't get
Yeah.
all your items, and I'm just I like replaying some of these missions. I'm having fun.
Sure. Yeah.
Reliving some of
re-experiencing
the
the story,
story
yeah, a little bit,
after
yeah.
beating it. But I'm just shit, I would never want to replay this game from the beginning. That game, it's long and arduous.
Yeah.
It's such a different. Now I'm just all right, I'm picking the mission. I'm going in,
I
I'm
definitely
coming
haven't
out.
beaten it 3 times so far.
Yeah, I know
haven't.
you've restarted too, and I'm like, what is he doing?
See, I fucked up bad with that game because there was when that first came out, there was a cheat where you can get unlimited gold, and I did it, and I could do whatever the fuck I wanted. The whole
And then it
time.
kinda just-
took away from me.
It
a little
does.
bit.
No,
I
it does.
I restarted it.
I mean,
fresh.
by the end of the game, you have a shit ton of money.
Well, it's
in the epilogue.
also if you get the there's treasures that you can find really early on. You can start out with $6 grand.
Yeah.
Within the first 10 hours of the game.
If you
not
look
e-
up, it's where's
How do you start and I've done it a few times, so I kind of just know where they're at now, which is
Yeah.
bad. But yeah, no, it's not. I've played that game way too much.
great.
It's not good.
Yeah, I platinum Death Stranding. I did the director's cut again.
Psycho.
I've been talking about that a lot. Return to the Obra Dinn. I played that, beat it, platinumed it. That was a fucking hell of a game, dude.
How much is that game?
I think it's $20.
I might have to pick
Just
it up.
pay it, dude.
Yeah, I think I might.
That developer, it's an indie game for those who don't know. If anyone knows Papers, Please, it's one guy, Lucas Pope.
Yeah.
And basically, the Obra Dinn is a ship, and it comes back into port. And basically, you are an assurance adjuster writing down how much people have to pay back from what happened to the ship, but everyone's gone.
Okay.
Some people live, some people die,
All right.
some people are killed. The shit that goes on the ship is insane. When you find out in the end, but you're on there not to figure out how everyone died. Who owes money? And I'm like, that's very like Paper Please is
That
like
is weird.
a game where you're a border patrol person and you're like rejecting people or letting people in, and sometimes you're an asshole, and like the moral politics come into it. It's a really cool game, but it's like 8 hours long, and
I'll
it
give
is
it a
a
look-see.
one playthrough game. That's the one thing. Like once you play through it, like you know what happens.
You get everything. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Like a replay like doesn't really do much for you.
Yeah, it's funny. You have to wait a while. I like it when I've waited so long that I kind of forget what's happening in the game, like with Mass Effect especially.
That same thing with like a movie.
Yeah, exactly. You get to
Yeah,
kind of
it's like, oh, I
re-experience a
remember
bit
this all.
and get a bit of deja vu. too.
And lastly, I'm what's the word? I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm playing The Last of Us 2 again. I'm doing Grounded and the permadeath run,
Okay.
which is just like arduous as fuck. I
Yeah,
don't know
man,
why I do this shit to myself.
I mean, yeah, we've had this conversation 1,000 times. I don't know either.
It's not that bad.
He sits here and is like, dude, I had to do this achievement where I needed to get 1 million kills in 3 years or something, and I couldn't not. It's
Do it. I
ridiculous.
have to do
Yeah.
it.
Oh my god.
But the accessibility options make it easy.
well, that's good.
You can turn on a mode where when you're prone, you're totally invisible. So you just
Oh.
prone through the whole game pretty much. Except
And
when
this
you
is
have
for
to
that
kill people.
Oberdin game? Or,
No, this is for Last of Us.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. No, I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's real. I guess accessibility is the big
But
thing.
it's a permadeath. You can either do it the whole game, by chapter, or by act. I'm like, oh, now you're just making it easy.
Yeah,
like
At least they're thinking of you. They're
yeah,
thinking of
and
you.
Grounded's tough. It's like, there's like no ammo and shit, and like you have like no HUD. It's fun, but like it's definitely challenging. I wouldn't recommend playing on that mode.
Sure.
Which got added later. I think the PS5 was out when they added Grounded and permadeath.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Is that so? That has a full like PS5 version now.
No. Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
A game like The Last of Us.
I mean,
like, how does that
the
not
fact
have a
that all
PS5
their
version?
first party games don't have PS5 versions right now?
It's like they're making something or
No,
something.
yeah, I don't, it's just it doesn't make any sense.
Factions or the multiplayer mode or whatever they're doing.
But how much is like? Can you play at 60 frames per second and stuff in that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It has
Well,
the update, but it doesn't
it
have
doesn't
the
have, like, the
official PS5.
Well, at least you can do that.
You
That's-
have PlayStation, right?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
You want to say that?
Why-
with a
why
bit
is that
more,
funny?
it just seemed like he was very like, yeah, fucking 4. All right, god damn it.
Nah, I'm so far behind in this shit. I'm
No,
like
dude, you're
lost
not.
right
I
now.
mean,
No,
but
I don't know
a
any
lot
this
of people have 4. Like, I'm gonna play Horizon on my PlayStation 4. I'm gonna play God of War on my PlayStation 4, and I'm gonna get what like.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
For a guy who hasn't played video games in a long time, who's not that much into it anymore, what is a game you recommend? I want to get into Guardians of the Galaxy. I heard that's really
Fucking
good.
Absolutely. No, I think
I
that's
watched your
amazing.
review on
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, it
seems
is.
good.
That game is
That blew me
next
away,
level.
genuinely.
When you said that you like those characters better than the movie characters, I was like, all right, I definitely gotta play
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's the goddamn
No, it's great.
truth.
It really is.
So I was thinking about that one, but any other games you'd think you could just recommend that I would maybe
On
even like
PlayStation?
So you have
before,
played.
yeah.
I mean, have you played Last of Us?
No, I never played any of that stuff.
Play Last of Us.
Yeah, no, I
Remastered,
think those
and
are
then-
absolute. The first one's a bit more dated for sure, but I still think
no, it's not. It
I think
holds
it's
up.
tough. To
I
play.
just played it.
I
like,
know.
a
I
few
know.
months ago. Or a
In my
a
opinion,
year
I
ago.
find it to be a little bit dated to play.
Okay.
But yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, did you play God of War?
No, I never played any of that
I
stuff,
mean,
man.
yeah, God of War is just like
You don't need to play the others.
you don't need to play the other ones. Great story, fun gameplay,
Yeah.
and you can just go like there's side stuff you can do. There's all that type of extra stuff. But if you just want to go through and do the campaign, do that. I think if you like Star Wars at all, Fallen Order is so much fun and very much worth your time. What else, Gooch? I mean, there's so many on
Hey,
there.
there's so many games. It's so
No, that's
overwhelming.
a
Yeah, I
tough
mean,
thing,
we
like-
definitely hit like a good few. I wouldn't recommend Uncharted.
I mean, you played Spider-Man,
example?
right?
I
Obviously.
played
Yeah,
Spider-Man
yeah.
and Red Dead were the last games I played.
Okay.
Yeah, and Miles
finished.
Morales. Well, no, it's on PS4.
Yeah, it's on PS4.
Miles Morales. I'd recommend.
I would
too.
recommend. Yeah, if you enjoyed, it's more Spider-Man. So that's
They're coming out with another
Spider-Man 2. Yeah.
Spider-Man 2.
Venom, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a villain.
Yeah, they teased
Yeah,
it,
and
so-
also I think I mean they didn't show him, but Craven's definitely in it too. I mean that's who
Oh,
they
you
were.
think?
I mean that's.
I
I
love
felt
how
like everyone was
talking
saying
about the games is just like talking about the movies of the level of like
it can cross
Like-
very easily.
Yeah,
So-
now, especially now.
like they're
You
just
don't know
all
what's
they're
gonna
so all over the place. It's like, oh, we can do this, and that. It's like, oh,
I mean, dude, that Spider-Man, chef's kiss to that game. That's still my favorite version of that character in media.
I hate that they changed the look of him though.
It's so weird and so weird because they didn't change it in the PlayStation 4 version.
Yeah, no.
oh, the look of the character.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
like
no, that
the
bugs,
character,
that
the
bugs, that
character
bugs.
model or the actor.
I don't like it either.
Well, no,
Yeah,
it would make more sense if they did go back in the other versions and put him in it. To, like at least more sense to me. But like now I'm going through and I'm playing as this old other Peter Parker if I play on PlayStation
are you?
4. Who is this guy? But then I see the new guy in Miles Morales on PlayStation 4, and it's like, oh, this is a different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Great story though.
Amazing.
For
Too
sure.
Yep.
But I think that does it with that.
I mean, yeah,
So
I wasn't playing anything Gooch or anything like
Oh
that.
shit! You didn't even go.
Oh my
Tree,
God.
I'm so sorry.
Gooch introduces me second today. Just says, "Here's fucking Trio," and then he doesn't even ask me what I'm playing. I don't want to talk about it. No, I'm kidding. I've been playing Mass Effect.
I usually go last too.
No, I know. You were gonna come to me, and I flipped the script and I said, "Gooch, what's up?" But no, I've been playing Mass Effect. God, those games are so good. We were talking about this. The Prothean extra character in that, the fact that he wasn't in the regular full game is just it's just exemplary of where like EA was at the time, and they've come
DLC,
further, but making single play. So there's a character in Mass Effect who is part of this race that's like this extinct race that you've been talking about for the last 3 games, and you see all like pretty interesting things and important things, and they just were like, but you got it. Was it like a pre-order bonus or was it like an actual?
Yes, it was a pre-order
you
bonus.
said a pre-order
but
bonus.
if you didn't pre-order, you had to buy it.
And you just don't
like,
get that story.
You get one of the people like they find like one of these Protheans and like they've been extinct for like 10,000 years and it's
50,000 years, something insane.
Yeah, and it's just like he's a DLC character. Like
DLC's pissed me off, man.
Dude,
I think it's ruining games.
I think in certain cases, it's
this is a big
good.
conversation.
No, I think it is. I think in certain cases where you're
sure
getting
you're
like
gonna
a
get
no.
Yeah, this is
Flat out statement. I think when you get into the multiplayer stuff, that's where it becomes more problematic to me. But where you get something like the Ghost of Tsushima add-on in DLC, where you're just getting an extra story that if you want to pay $10 for, I don't personally mind.
A couple extra bucks is fine.
Yeah,
but
but-
it's like another buying a whole other game.
It's
like,
what are we doing
yeah,
here?
Yeah, that's right.
Anyways, tune in for our next conversation on DLCs. We actually did a DLC podcast like years
while
ago,
ago.
long time ago. Check it out. But
I'm sure
what
it's very
else?
dated.
I mean, I've been watching Peacemaker. We'll talk about that in our review. That's been amazing. And I started Nier Automata today.
That's what you started.
That's what I was
Wow.
playing today. It's one I always like heard about. Joey used to talk about it all the time. I feel
It's a JRPG and like I don't even play it. It's like a third person action game.
yeah, and it's weird because there's so many. It's like third
Really?
person, also top down, also 2D. It switches to all these different cameras. I just
Why
played.
the hell did you start that?
It was free on Game Pass, and
okay.
it looked
There's Game Pass.
somewhat interesting to me. And I downloaded it and I played like the first 20 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to go back to it, but the combat was a lot of fun and it was very interesting. I might pick it up again tonight. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling, but I thought the introduction was very well done and it's surprisingly fun. But I mean that's basically it, I think.
So let's jump back to Matt, like I was trying to do.
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
So Matt, I think we've known each other since like sixth grade.
In a while.
Yeah, and as long as I've known
I've known you for just as long.
yeah, that's a little bit later,
Did
maybe.
you go to Annie's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I left in 5th grade.
I
I
left
did the
in
same
third
thing I
grade.
did, but I was
I was like,
pious.
fuck
I left
this.
3rd grade. Annie's. I was in Annie's. Yeah.
Best decision of my
We're
life.
Catholic
Absolutely.
school
Dropouts.
public
I'm
school
so glad I
transplants.
did.
Yeah.
We used to play baseball together, didn't we? We were really young. I think.
I think so.
think-
with me? Because
yeah,
I know
we
I
were
was definitely in
young.
Little League, but I was probably. How old are you?
26.
So you guys, that's right. Okay.
same age.
Oh, you're 26? Okay. So you turned 27 this year, I assume?
July.
Yeah. So I just turned 26 in December. So, yeah, no, that would make sense. That absolutely would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as long as I've known you, you've been a good guitar guy. I think it's like one of the first things I like knew
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
So when did you kind of like? I mean, you can talk about like when you started guitar. I think
Yeah.
that's like tangentially relevant. But like, when did you decide? You know what? I'm gonna like get into YouTube and start like doing that kind of thing.
I think that came from just kind of getting frustrated where I was at. I was like, I don't know anybody in like this industry. Like, I don't like. I want to like teach. I want to like make money other than the 9 to 5, whatever.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I saw it as like a maybe a opportunity to make more money in the future.
Sure.
As an investment. Look at it that way. But it's
Sure.
also it's fun. I ended up getting into like the videography side of things, and I just enjoyed it. And when you talk about things you like, it's just a lot easier to do those things. So
Well, I mean,
sure.
I was
We do
watching
a lot of that.
I was watching your Jimi Hendrix video, and I was like, "Oh, you give a shit."
Yeah,
Like you can tell,
yeah,
like no,
yeah,
like I
yeah,
can tell,
yeah,
like you
yeah.
actually, like you know what you're talking about. You're invested. It's cool. It is.
yeah, definitely.
But so you said TikTok's your one of big go-to.
I
for you?
started TikTok a few months after YouTube, and it took me a few months to figure it out. And then I kind of figured it out, but the algorithm's like constantly changing over there.
So fucking weird, man.
Yeah, but you kind of get the ropes of it, and then it just kind of took off a little bit.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I mean, that kind of I get like a private guitar lesson through that a lot. That's where I sell like some of my courses and things.
Oh,
and
do you
stuff.
do private
Yeah,
stuff?
I do private stuff. Yeah,
That's cool.
I did YouTube because I wanted to do that, but then I was like, oh, I have to do TikTok too. But TikTok has given me more of that than YouTube.
Oh wow.
So how do you like? Do you just like? Are you like a person that like? Oh, like a friend of a friend recommended Matt to me to do guitar lessons, like, or do you like market yourself kind of like that?
It was that before, but now I slightly market myself.
Sure.
But now TikTok, I just get followers, and then I'll make
Followers, word of mouth.
yeah, and then I'll make I'll teach a specific thing about guitar, and I'll say there's a free PDF in my bio. They'll go to the bio, click the PDF, but they have to give me their email, and then I'll send them like email stuff, and if they're interested, then they can follow along. So it's all about that kind of stuff.
No, that makes sense. You were saying like it's kind of tough. Like, how's the Philly music scene?
It's there.
Especially somebody with a band. Too.
Sure.
It's
yeah.
there. I'm slowly figuring that out right now.
Okay.
Because I've been with the Dead Pockets for at least 2-3 years. It took us forever to find a good singer. Finally found
Why
one.
didn't you guys call me? I have the
Yeah,
voice
I
of an
don't know,
angel.
man.
What are we doing? Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't really played any shows in the city, honestly.
Okay.
But it's a scene.
No,
It's not,
sure.
It's not Nashville
No,
or New York.
of
or
course.
anything.
No, but yeah, there's places to go. That's cool. I went to the Grape Room in Manioc.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
It's funny. I could not literally hear the band. I couldn't. It's the acoustics in there are not good, unfortunately. And I guess
bars
when
are
you're
not good.
dealing with like a drum set and stuff, that's tough because you got to
Stage is
balance
like
out.
this, and you have like 8 guys. Just like,
It's just tough. No, and I felt bad because like the guy was up there singing, and I was sitting at the bar, and I'm like, I can't even understand what he's saying. Like I can't even. I see
guy.
he's screaming into the mic.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But we have a show actually coming up at Dobbs in South Street. It used to they closed
nice.
it down, and then they reopened it to redo it. But we have a show March 5th, I think.
What
It's our
time?
first Philly show.
Nice.
It's a 10:30 slot. It's late.
Oh, okay.
It's 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, and 11:30. We're like, we're not doing 11:30.
No, fuck
11:30 is pretty late.
that. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very
that's-
late,
yeah.
and that's
People
when you
are
get
people are
people
leaving at
real
that point.
drunk too.
Yeah,
like
exactly,
that's
Yeah, people are
and that's
rowdy
who's
by
sticking
11:30.
around. Interesting.
Yeah. So, but it's great. It's been a learning experience doing all this stuff. It's
Yeah.
very-
So when you started with YouTube, I'm sure what you thought you were gonna do and what you're doing possibly now, like the video ideas are probably a little different than what
100%.
Yeah.
If you,
Yeah.
I watched my first video like a few weeks ago. I was like,
Cringe.
I was like, this is so bad.
I
Dude,
should have
totally
watched your
under-
first
No, you
video.
should- no, you should have.
Just
I'm
to
like-
compare.
Anyways, 1 second, I'm gonna.
I look like
Let's
I'm 12
play it
years
right
old.
now.
I'm
Play
like,
live.
hi, I'm Matt. Like, I don't even know how to speak to the camera.
Right.
And you learn those things.
Oh, of course,
You
it
do,
comes with time.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
experience, 100% experience.
So you don't like listening to yourself back?
No,
Are you one of
I
those people?
do now. I don't. It doesn't bother
See,
me.
not as
that's what
bad
I say
now
to other
for sure.
people. It's
Yeah,
like,
I
oh, I
agree.
hate listening to my voice, and I'm like, dude, I've been doing it for years.
I
Like,
totally
it's-
get what you mean.
Sometimes
though,
I
in
don't
the way
like
of-
watching
You get
myself,
used to it. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like, I don't mind how I sound.
Dude, I've watched some of our earliest DNNs, and like
It is
and
cringy.
The video quality is terrible.
That's
oh,
the
no,
best
but that's it's funny.
The
Just to see how
progression.
you can
Yeah,
progress
no, yeah.
is
Yeah.
so cool, and even just how different we look at it. It's cool to have that thing to look back at, to be able to see your improvement in such an easy way.
That's the hardest part is just getting started with it. That's the
Right.
first
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely.
Like, someone's like, "Hey, I want to do this." I'm like, "Just start." They're like, "Well, I don't know." I'm like, "Well, just
start.
Once you, I was like,
Get
I
these
promise
things,
you'll
and that's
figure
where
it
you got to
out.
start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Start doing it. That is the main
yeah,
thing.
somebody actually like a few weeks ago asked me like, what is your like number one like podcasting advice? And I basically it was a form of just start, but don't look at other people's setups and buy really expensive equipment,
Especially off
to
the start.
try
You
to
don't need it. You don't need
understand
it.
with your first one. I'm like, just start with
No.
something simple. Like you don't need a board like this.
You don't
to
need
start
mic
out.
arms. You don't
Like,
need all this. You
sure,
need a.
it sounds great, but like if you don't know, you want to invest in it.
You
and
could
you don't
use
know
your
what it's
iPhone
like.
for fuck's sake.
Right.
You're
Like, you need to start somewhere and you just need to do it. And it'd be low investment if you don't have necessarily the funds to pour into it because you could just be wasting your money
and again,
your time.
it's got to be something you want to do. Like, because
Yeah.
the main reason we do this is because I want to do, like, I wouldn't be here if I
Right.
didn't
Yeah,
like
exactly. You
enjoying
enjoy
this.
doing
So
it,
like,
yeah.
no, that's a major key component. I think
Yeah.
that's totally true.
So what have you found with videos that works and doesn't work? And have you, I did a similar podcast like this last year with Alex Martinelli.
Yeah.
He does a similar kind of, I guess, business, but he's like on like a very high level of like with his, the reason he came on was he had 100K subs.
Yeah.
But his YouTube channel's feeding his business, which he teaches music.
Yeah.
So like, what are videos that you're kind of like real, like, I'm sure you kind of had like, oh, I love doing this, but like got no views. And then
Yeah.
like the stuff that you like think you have to do because that's what gets views.
I think the best videos that I think are great, like the most valuable ones, like just like guitar tips and things like that, get the least views. I'm like, You guys,
Come on, guys, you're sleeping on the hits, man. Yeah.
And then like I'll do like a gear review on a product, and people love it.
It's brand new stuff usually?
Gear reviews, I'll do new stuff, old stuff, whatever I can really get my hands on. I did all the stuff that I owned first,
How many guitars do you have?
like 10.
That's fucking
Eight
crazy.
to 10 or
Jesus, yeah.
whatever.
No, that's-
it's a lot. Yeah,
I
was
mean,
fortunate enough
but
to
that's
have
your
a lot of
that's the
guitars.
thing. Like
Yeah,
we have
you've done this your whole life.
we have
Yeah,
a pile
pretty
of
much
video
my whole life.
games, and Gooch has an Xbox and a PlayStation over
Yeah,
here. So,
yeah, exactly.
We all got our vices.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. But there's so much to get into anyway. But anyway, what'd you ask me?
what do you find works the
Works
best?
and what
like
doesn't.
what like what
Oh.
what he gets you? You said
Yeah.
gear, right? Like reviewing gear
I
and
was like
stuff.
reviewing gear. Like the Hendrix video actually is doing pretty well.
You know that one was really
You
cool.
get a
I
couple
watched
videos
yeah,
of that.
like breaking down songs and like melodies and stuff like that.
Yeah. What else? Honestly, it's mainly about good thumbnails and titles.
It's true. I
No,
mean, it's so
seriously.
true.
You can
No,
I can have the shittiest video and it can do so well if it has a great thumbnail and title. And
What
I'm still
sucks
figuring
about
it out.
podcasts is, especially for YouTube, you're either in or you're out. Like there really is no middle
there's-
ground. You're either watching it or you're not.
Yeah.
It's not a
Yeah.
5-minute investment or a 10-minute
Yeah.
investment.
No, it's true.
It's like 20 to 60 minutes of investment.
And I do think a majority of people prefer to just audio. I mean, it's funny. I over the pandemic, I've switched. I used to always listen to audio podcasts. That's all I would really do. Now I have my computer up with YouTube going with podcasts. I'd be curious how many people actually go to YouTube just for podcasts, just to sit there and listen.
Some I do.
Yeah, no,
And some I don't.
It's true.
Yeah, but the ones that you do, what's the difference between the ones?
Why
you
do
don't?
I watch on
Is it like-
Spotify? Because they're only available on Spotify. There isn't a video version.
Well, see, that's
Oh,
I mean,
okay, you have an audio and video version. Is there sometimes you'll still watch the video version because you just like watching the interaction?
If
It's
there
nice
is a
having
video,
so-
if there is a video version, and I started with the video version, I'm only watching the video.
It's funny. The main
Okay.
reason
Like-
I think I switched to YouTube was because now they have it set up so they always had timestamps, but now like the bar on the bottom of this, like it's very easily set up to where I can kind of skip to the segments of certain things that I
think
want.
that's good.
It's
Which is
something
cool
we
too.
Don't do.
No, but I mean, but I think most
I've
of our
thought about it. I'm like, should we do
You
this?
should 100% do it.
yeah,
If you
I
have
think that might
hour-long-
actually
yeah.
help, just especially when we're doing intro. Like if just intro ends here and then we're right into
You
where
should
we're at
also
in the
think-
podcast.
So when you guys do like whole hour and a half, you guys
yeah,
sometimes do.
yeah,
Yeah.
those are usually our longer ones. Yeah,
If you talk about different topics, maybe you can just cut it up.
yeah. I feel
thought
like
about
most
that.
of the time it's usually like I feel like the way we'd cut up would be our intro talk and what we're playing, what we're watching, and then the next segment
Right.
would usually just be the
And
topic.
there
that we're
definitely
doing.
is a need to do that, but what sucks is in a perfect world, I would want to do it is while we're sitting here talking.
Write it
take
down.
note.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
necessarily have a timer that I can look at over here that I
to
know
do that
the
very easily.
timestamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of my thinking, and then I was like, yeah, it's not easy. So like I just
No, it's for sure. And it's funny. I don't.
disregarded it, but it is something we could do.
No, yeah.
You're right.
And I don't know
do
why.
you timestamp your stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like if it's over like 8 minutes, I'll do it.
Oh, I was watching your the one you did between the difference between playing sober and drunk, which is pretty funny. And I always noticed that was timestamped, and they were like probably like maybe like 7 or 8.
Sometimes I do
timestamps.
it, sometimes I don't.
Okay.
So with TikTok, not to break away from YouTube, what do you find works the best on there?
That changes all the time.
Really, it seems just ever flowing.
Like,
Like,
right-
one
right-
could really hit for no reason.
Right
and
now, if you guys want to do it today, you should do it. It's like you just make a 7-second video with like text,
okay.
and then they just push it in the algorithm right now. There's a certain time.
It really does seem like TikTok does a better job of pushing up random because I will get TikToks in my feed that have like 3 likes, and it's a very sad individual doing something very sad,
Yeah.
but it's just right.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
though?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's
You're on the
just-
For You page like millions,
yeah, and then
millions, and
you'll
like
get
a
to
guy.
one that's 10 people, and it's just a guy like, hi, like it's like he thinks he's sending a video to his mom, and he's like, hi mom, I'm gonna be home for dinner at 10. Like he doesn't know how to use
Yeah,
TikTok or something.
it's-
But it does. They seem to not just push. I'm not kidding.
No,
it
yeah.
seems to like actually push ones that
They
aren't
give
just
everybody
big.
a chance.
They do.
TikTok
yeah.
is a strange platform, and that's kind of why I was hesitant to get on it. I don't have my own.
Well, that's
agree.
why even when you told me, I was like, yeah, we can. I don't know. I never post
yeah,
anything
yeah.
on it.
That's kind of one of the issues I have. It's like, dude, like I only have so much time and like
Maybe I'll have to start making some
Want.
great TikToks and following trends.
yeah, maybe
And I'll
I
do the
will.
next dance.
Maybe-
No, I'm
maybe
kidding.
you
Yeah, so,
could.
yeah, trends is good to follow too. But I do 2 separate things. I'll write the TikToks in a week, like scripts, like 25 scripts, And then
wow.
I'll
Alright.
record them all in one day, edit them, and then put them. Like I don't make them on the TikTok app himself.
Yeah, you
I do it
actually
all
video.
external.
So that was I mean, obviously our clips are done externally because I was like, I guess I've uploaded maybe like 6 or 7 TikToks, and realistically they are just the clip videos that I always post.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
That can work sometimes.
I'm like, I noticed
If it's a funny moment
our
from
Dexter
the-
one has a ton of views, and then some of them have not.
how long is the Dexter one?
I don't.
Maybe a
Oh,
minute.
on TikTok. You said.
Yeah,
Okay.
on
Yeah,
TikTok.
not the,
yeah,
not the whole podcast, just like a clip.
I think yeah.
And but I'm just like, I don't know if I don't want to like make TikTok content.
I know, it's like, but it's like I think
I don't want to like do
What
that.
he's-
It can get you a lot of new listeners. Though.
Yeah.
I think it could. It
and I don't really
absolutely
know
could,
like
yeah.
what we could do.
It would just be It would have to. It would be,
It'd have to be,
I
like,
think some clips here
mini
and there are
clips.
probably good. Yeah, but also just like funny moments from the podcast. Oh, I guess we got to deem them funny though. So
Yeah.
right, and that's just the thing. It's like I don't think I like want to do that.
It's a lot of work.
person.
No, it's a lot of
Right, I
work.
already do a lot.
No,
That's kind of where I'm like getting
I think
a
just
TikTok was
uploading
already a thing.
I think uploading just at least for now, anyways, what we do already. I think that makes sense. Even just because you already have. What do you do with the clips now? You clip out. You just clip them out and then you put it into TikTok. I assume.
I like download on my phone and then I like because like with like on TikTok on the computer, like the desktop version of it, like you can't edit videos like you can on mobile. I've noticed. Or am I wrong?
What on what?
on like
on
the
TikTok.
on the TikTok desktop like thing.
No, you can't do anything on the desktop. I don't
Yeah,
think.
you can only like upload it and like tag things. That's it.
I didn't even know you could do that. I thought you could just view.
No.
I didn't know. On
Yeah.
the phone, I know you could. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gooch is 80
I don't know
years
how
old.
many people are on desktop.
Yeah, no,
TikTok,
that's
though.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Well, it was funny. Gooch had up on the computer. I'm like, they have a desktop
that?
version of
And
TikTok.
I'm like,
Yeah, it's very-
apparently.
Apparently, yeah. No, that's interesting. So, recommendation wise, I'm curious. Is there like certain equipment you recommend just for guitar? Like, I guess that's a very broad question, but like, are there finds that you found are like the things that you really like to push out, like in the way of equipment and stuff like that?
Like if I'm just like products I'm
yeah,
reviewing?
sure, yeah.
Yes, I try and be honest as I can.
Yeah.
But through the TikTok, brands reach out to me.
Oh, wow.
That was going to be my follow-up.
Yeah,
awesome.
so like it's
That's
one
cool.
is like a guitar string company from Nashville.
That's
and it was
cool.
Great. Like they sent me free strings. I was like, that's all
Fuck
I
it.
needed.
Yeah, no, that's
and I would
amazing,
like
yeah.
say whatever.
Definitely, yeah. Give him a little plug.
But I was
yeah.
like, please be good.
yeah,
Right.
Because if they suck,
Well, like,
I'm not gonna be
how
like
does-
these are great.
Yeah.
and you
I
ha-
can't.
so you
do
have
that.
to be.
I can't
You-
do that.
So what if you got like there's when you're getting something like that? Is it like all right? I'm gonna test these and give my honest opinion, or they're gonna be like no. If you take these, you have to say that they're.
So it depends. So
Sure.
they say, hey, we'll send you some strings. It'd be nice if you could do some demos. It was like they
Sure.
they were like, you have to do this if we do this. They like sent it to me. Said,
This would be nice.
This can be your choice.
okay.
But I've noticed that in like the YouTube guitar community where they will send you products and just say, hey, here's a new product, and they don't tell you to do anything, but they just kind of hope that you do.
They expect you to. Right.
Interesting.
That's the. I mean, it's the
a
same
little bit
thing
of
with
wink and a
games.
nod.
Like
No,
when people get
absolutely.
sent games to
Yeah.
review, it's like, okay, like you want to be honest, and if your game sucks, I guess you're gonna have to let people
But
know.
it can get awkward. Thankfully, I've never had to deal with that because I think a guitar app reached out to me to like promote their stuff, and they were good, thankfully. And then another, like a beginner guitar company, they like sent me a guitar and they're like, do these reviews. I'm like, okay, and it's great. And like it didn't. And
well, that's good. That is nice when you can promote something you
but
genuinely
I
feel like is
guarantee
good.
one day it's gonna be like someone's gonna send me something like it's gonna be a
I
piece
don't
of
like-
shit, and they're
yeah.
gonna have to pay me, and I'm like, I can't say this. I can't say it's good. I
No,
can't.
yeah.
So you'd rather just totally not put it out than
I'd rather
be like negative about it and put it out that
Yeah.
when somebody sends
Yeah,
you something.
100%.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like good PR stuff, right? You don't want to like burn a bridge necessarily. With,
But it's
Yeah.
also you don't want to be lying to your audience either.
But
So-
there's ways around it.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. No, that makes sense. It's funny because we could probably get screeners if we really wanted to. By the
of
way.
movies,
yeah, and stuff like that.
We,
and of
we
like,
already have screeners for movies.
Really, like in the way of like.
What do you mean? All those we saw like every DC movie like a week.
No, I
early
know,
for a
but
little
even but I
while.
mean as like even like now like if we wanted to email
Oh,
someone
yeah.
at like WB like they're so easy to really get in there, which is nice. But
Yeah.
no, for yours it's so much better in the way of you just get to actually get the product and truly give your opinion on it. Where I guess movies can kind of be the same way, but no, that's interesting. Have you
it's-
found that to be like the hardest like thing to deal with, or do you find it to be very
At first,
easy?
I was like, I mean, like I got.
You don't know what the etiquette
It was
is,
like,
and
yeah, and you
like, hey, what's
you have
going
to
on?
figure it out. But I think in the end, for my own brand or whatever you want to call it, it's best to be honest. You have to be honest with them, like who watches. Like you don't want to be lying to them.
Yeah, you don't
They'll
want.
find out.
If they're gonna buy it, find out it's shitty, and then they're gonna be like,
Like,
"You
this
told me
fucking
to buy
guy.
this. What the fuck?
Yeah, yo, this is like
This is horse shit."
yeah. They'll come back on your profile and make a comment and be like, this is bullshit.
But it
Yeah,
also
whatever.
goes like if I have a good review about something, and they're like the brand will give me a discount code for them to get
To
the
put in the-
product.
yeah.
Some
Right.
people are like, oh, he just fucking saying
He's
it
a shill.
Chill. Yeah.
It's like not like I'm not.
I mean,
It's so
ads
funny
kinda
how
work
that
like
just seems
that.
to go across like like
Everything.
all things.
It's
So,
hard.
like-
Yeah, it's hard to find a balance between all of it, but I'll figure it out.
No, I mean, dude, again, to bring it back to like what we do in the way of, I always see things on certain YouTube channels that I watch when it's like, you're a Marvel shill, you're a DC shill, you're like, guys, get over yourself. Everyone's doing their thing. They're trying to get by. It's so frustrating.
Nothing's that serious.
But that's going to
It's-
come with every YouTube channel, unfortunately. Which is, I will say, knock on wood, we don't really get. We get comments here and there on our YouTube channels, but there's never anything
I got a
vitriolic. Do you get anything
Dude,
like
this
that?
morning at 2 a.m. I woke up to an email. It said it was.
You woke up.
It was
I
no
love
email.
it.
I woke up. I was like,
Stirred me in my sleep.
today's not gonna be the good day. It was. It was a Jimmy Page video. It's like the first video that like got a lot of views. It was like, is he a sloppy guitar player? And there's like, people love that guy. Love that guy.
He's
I
a
love that
saint.
guy.
Yeah,
So
no,
I
you
love
enjoy
that
it.
guy.
It's a Jimi Hendrix like fucking dick sucker.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I gotta hold on.
I need to-
comment.
I-
It's brutal.
I kind of.
we're getting the
No, I
the
love
tape.
to see because it's funny.
I was like,
Comments or
oh.
something. Again, we don't really, like I said, we don't deal with a ton.
You know what?
Like, in the
What
way of-
podcast we did get some hate on is our video games and politics one that we did with Matt like a few years ago.
I'm not surprised on that.
Yeah, like, and
that's-
it was like, I mean, like Trump was president at that point, but
Yeah.
it was a very like today that we wouldn't have that conversation. It's so much different.
It would be even more vitriolic somehow, like
Right.
or like even toxic.
All right, read
I want
it
to hear
out.
it.
You
Yeah.
ready for this?
Yeah.
Ready?
3 a.m. I'd much rather be a world famous sloppy guitar player than a nobody YouTuber. I was like, oh god, I'm done.
That's people's-
Today's done. I was
Dude,
like, I'm
some
done.
people just can't like they're just like, they can't
It was
understand
funny,
that
though.
criticism. No, exactly. Yeah,
Has-
shit that you
it
can
doesn't
look at,
bother me
laugh at.
anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thankfully.
we're laughing at that right now, but has comments not necessarily like that. But have you ever seen something like
The first month or two, I was like, oh, this is so discouraging.
yeah,
And then you stop giving a fuck.
That's
and
the
it doesn't
thing.
matter
Do
anymore.
you find that you still look at them a lot, or even do you find you're just kind of at this point like,
on
"Ah,
that
okay."
video when I see a comment, I don't even read it anymore
That makes sense.
because it's like it's either both ways. Like those comments.
Someone
it's
who's just like
fighting each
sucking the
other.
dick of that thought, and then another person who's just like, "Fuck you, man."
But
How
then
could
I
you even say
realized
that?"
like the more they comment, the better it is for me.
dude, that's
Sure.
Whether
It
it's bad or
pushes
good.
through the algorithm.
Yeah.
Like I don't care.
Yeah, I've never really deleted a comment because it was negative on our
No,
stuff.
you don't. Never do it.
Right.
No, it's funny. How do you feel about the like getting rid of the dislike button and stuff on YouTube, just as a rrandom?
Yeah.
It's funny.
We haven't talked about
We
that.
haven't. And I just thought, I was
It's,
thinking out the other day because it's funny. I was watching a video and I felt so because it can be used in a way that's like discouraging. But I saw this video. I'm like, I really hope I'm not the most insane person. Like I felt like the dislike kind of gave me a bit of solace.
An
And so
idea.
uncertain.
No, but like that's true though because
Yeah.
like
And even for creators, I feel. But I guess we can see the dislikes still.
yeah, you personally can see them.
Yeah.
I think if you're a shitty if you're just like a crappy creator who just wants
It's
to
not
like,
gonna matter anyways. Maybe, but you know.
it goes both ways. I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, personally, when I see a video that I don't like and I dislike it, I'm like, I wonder what the ratio is like. I think it's a bad idea personally.
No, yeah. Well, and I think you can kind of gather from how many little likes it, how
I
little
think
likes it has,
it
but
is
still.
good to go on a video and be like, hey, like, what's the like to dislike ratio? Like, and I get sometimes it can be kind of toxic, but like,
Yeah.
that ratio can be kind of helpful, especially if I'm looking for like a random.
I feel like it's really rare for a video to get more dislikes.
That's what
in the-
Call
but
of
that's
Duty
what-
trailers are very
I feel
infamous for
like,
that.
but that's
yeah,
why
for
I
that,
like.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that's a totally different thing.
Well,
And
but,
I
like,
think that's why I love
And
the
it's
dislike
funny.
button because I think it was used when it was like if it was bad, it had
They
a bad
made
dislike.
sure it was
yeah,
bad.
it was a dislike for sure.
Yeah.
And then you didn't feel insane. But no, I don't know why I just thought about that.
So
I totally feel
one
the
thing I
same.
did want to bring up to you, and you kind of brought it up, but you were talking about like the guitar community on YouTube. What since we're in like
We're in a
two-
different sphere,
right
Yeah.
than that, and that's like something I really know nothing about on YouTube is like the people like doing covers,
The discourse,
and
yeah.
reviewing stuff. Like, what is that community like on YouTube and like not on on other platforms?
When I first got into it, it's very like this discouraging a little bit, and it was kind of I hate the word toxic.
I
hate
know
that
it's
word.
very used. It's used
but
very heavily
it
now. I
was because
totally
it's
agree.
like people just constantly talking shit on each other. Like, this is better. I was like, shut the fuck up. Who cares? Like, who cares?
No, it's
but like,
yeah.
there's a lot of great YouTubers out, like guitar YouTubers, and who like inspired me to do most of this stuff.
Sure.
Any that you could recommend?
There's a guy named Rhett Schull. He's great. He does he's a touring musician, so
Okay.
he does like vlog-ish videos. But he also, once the pandemic happened, he started doing gear reviews. And
Sure.
things like that.
Okay.
A guy named Paul Davids. He's probably like the guitar YouTube guy. It's like
Okay.
over 5.5 million.
Okay.
He's amazing.
Oh, wow.
So those are the main two.
Okay.
But like those people are great. I haven't seen a guitar YouTube channel that I thought was bad. That had a decent amount of views.
Not that you have to name
Anyway.
names, but have you seen one where you're like, man, what are you doing? Like, have there anything like, or just being jerks, or just being like,
Yeah, there was a few. It's like this guy was obviously super pretentious.
just asshole? Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
it goes
when
with anything.
I feel like when you're
doing.
talking about like Zeppelin or like any band, any old band that like people like,
Yeah.
like,
There's
it
gonna be
gets
harsh-
pretentious.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
so,
of like if somebody's like passion for the band.
And
or
again, I
something
think
like
go the
that.
same way even with film and stuff like that, where you can get some just pretentious stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't get it, man. You don't.
Like,
if you were smart,
Like
you would
Scorsese
understand
or
this.
something.
Yeah.
all the time.
It's so
Especially-
frustrating.
The Jimmy Page video was like the best and worst thing I've ever done.
I think that video is funny. I was looking back on your channel to kind of like prep for this, and I'm like, I watched that naturally, and I was like, that's one of your like most viewed
Yeah.
videos, the Jimmy Page one,
because
I like
it's controversial.
right.
Like I love Zeppelin too. Jimmy Page is probably one of my favorite.
Somebody's
guitar
clicking on that
players.
video, giving you a dislike and giving you a back.
Dude,
that's like it's a damn
True,
shame.
literally, they aren't
Yeah.
watching it at all. They saw the title
like,
and were
fuck
like,
you,
"Fuck
dude."
off."
Well, I think
Jimmy
the-
Page is God.
I comment on some of them. I'm like, they're like, you are a piece. You don't know what the fuck you're talking. I was like, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Thanks for leaving a comment to push us for more people to see. And then they just get mad.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
then you don't even bother.
No, that's man.
You can't get caught up in the comments too, because you'll literally find yourself
For sure.
talking to someone. You're like, what am I doing? This is a waste of time.
This is basically might as well be a made up person on the internet. that I'm
100%.
interacting with.
So
And
I
they
don't,
are.
I don't do it.
No, they're
Technically.
No, I mean they're
No,
the
yeah,
NCPs.
no offense
yeah.
to those people.
No, but
they are.
We're never gonna interact with you in person. It doesn't matter. So fuck off. How about that? No. But
Exactly. You can't waste your time.
no. And like I said again, we haven't thankfully had to deal with much of that in the way of our community.
People that do that, they have their own issues.
Absolutely.
So I'm for some reason I'm forgetting the word. When there's a lot of something on the internet, what's that word?
There's not an influx, but like a
oversaturated?
saturation.
That's
Saturation.
Is
yeah.
is music content on YouTube oversaturated?
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't look like anything is not oversaturated.
I was
going
gonna
to
say, unfortunately, that
video
seems to be the
games,
thing. Yeah.
There's a podcast for fucking everything.
I'm not gonna lie. I love this podcast. I love doing it. I kind of hate telling people I do a podcast anymore in the way of like, just because it
I
feels
see
so
what you're
cliche.
saying.
You know what I
Yeah.
like?
Oh, it is.
It
Everyone and
feels
their
so
mom has
cliche.
it.
Everyone
Honestly,
has, and listen,
like-
that's fine. I think you should absolutely do it.
This is an interesting thing we probably all have in common. I don't think me and you have talked about this.
Sure.
So I'm sure when you see people, like, I think. Let me start over. When you see people and they come up to you and they talk about your YouTube stuff,
Yeah.
isn't that weird?
I hate talking about it.
yeah.
It is. I find like
all-
I don't know what to say besides thank you. Like it doesn't
Yeah,
make.
it's like-
I'm not embarrassed, but like
No, exactly.
and I do. I fucking. I don't want to say shill, but like I put that shit out there for people to see.
Yeah.
Like,
Of
I
course.
do that myself.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of like sometimes when like somebody I don't know, like I was out to dinner with a group of guys, and like somebody we went to high school with is like, dude, your like podcast is awesome. Like I really like what you're doing. And sometimes when it's that service level, like I don't really know like how.
It's
to
funny,
respond
that
to
You're
one-
it.
kind of like,
That one actually makes me
Thanks.
feel like I get a little ego pump on those ones. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. That's cool. Like that. It's
Yeah.
more of like when they really want to talk about it, and I'm like,
Oh, see,
yeah.
that's what I like.
I'm okay with, yeah.
I'd rather
it's
them
it's
talk.
I'd
it's
rather-
funny.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I don't know. It depends, I guess, on who's giving it to me too. Like who's giving me the compliment.
That happened at our reunion. Did you go to our 5-year reunion?
No, I did not.
It was
I
pretty
didn't-
fun.
I didn't care to
It was-
go.
it was
No, I
pretty-
didn't.
Yeah.
We had
fun.
I wasn't even invited to my
I was like,
5-year
I'll just gotta go
reunion.
to
I
the
think.
10.
Yeah.
I was like, we're all just going to Barnaby.
Dude, that's
to see
Nah,
everybody
that's
after.
the- I
That's
think
next
10
year.
No, it's not.
My sister's. And oh wait,
No,
2
it's
years
2
from
years,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember seeing you that night at the Barnaby.
Ours is ours
Yes.
was
You're like,
Dude,
man.
I blacked out.
was
that
probably
night.
shit-faced.
Dude, I was double fisting rum and cokes. I was blacked out.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
Very hard.
Yeah, it wasn't
I
my
was
thing.
having a good time.
Wasn't my thing, that's for sure.
But
in
anyway.
10 years, we'll see.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you there.
So-
1,000%.
At our 10-year, and I'll say his name, Tommy comes up to me, like at the beginning, at the actual reunion, and we were like talking about the podcast for a good hour but like he
No,
was like
that's- yeah.
genuinely having a conversation with me about
Which Tommy?
Oh, Tommy Panzer.
Oh, Panther. Yeah.
Yeah. And
He's into that stuff.
and I'm
too.
like it felt like I teared up talking to him. Like he was really making like
it.
a lot of like
It
nice
makes you feel good.
It
Yeah.
made me feel good because he like you could tell like he did podcasts at one point.
Yeah.
And he cared to talk to me about it. So like I was
good enough.
like it was heartfelt.
No, it's
but like
interesting,
sometimes
yeah.
it's just like that surface level comment that I'm just like I don't know like
See,
what
that's
thanks,
more like
but,
from
I don't
my-
know what else I should say.
And I love my family, but that's more like from my aunts and uncles and stuff like that. When they're like, "Oh, I watched the pod," I'm like, they're watching it because I'm on it, and it's amazing. It's super nice, and I love it. And they're just supporting it because they know I'm doing something fun.
I love your
but
cute
they don't
little
really
YouTube
know.
video.
Yeah, they're like, "I like your radio."
It's not cute.
Well,
I
yeah.
like how's your radio show? It's like, ah, God.
Yeah.
No, I get what
Radio
you.
show.
But no, but like then there's like if I see someone out from high school or someone they're like Trio, dude, the podcast is awesome. I love it, man. And if that's it, I'm like, oh, I feel like I usually feel genuine in that way.
I've
But
actually had a few people from school like DM me, but actually a bunch of them. They're like, dude, like this stuff's pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
I was like,
it's
I
happened to me.
I appreciate that. It's fine.
Yeah.
Not that
it's
we need
cool.
validation, but it validates
yeah,
it.
it's-
Yeah, like it feels.
If some the sport's nice, it's
Yeah,
nice. Having
it
some-
does.
The weird one, I think sometimes, is when we're all single here, right?
Yes. Well, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It's telling,
signal. No,
telling
signal, no.
to somebody you're dating, you do this kind of thing. And like sometimes like you need to either like they get it if they know like what if they watch YouTube and they're in the environment or they don't and you really have to like explain
Yeah.
it. And then like here's a video.
So most of the other past ones, it was weird with them.
yeah.
But the one now, it was like I was kind of like, it's like yeah, I do this, and she's like a lot. She,
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
genuinely, and she watched
Seems
all of
actually
them. And she
care.
like wanted to talk. I was like,
And you didn't have to do any work.
I went to like the jewelry store immediately and bought
Yeah.
a ring. Like,
I'm ready. I went and just gotta get down on the knee.
Dude. Oh my God. Yeah. No, that's so great. That's awesome.
no, yeah,
Genuinely,
it was nice.
that's
No,
amazing.
yeah, it was cool. But you're right though. Going into that, you're like, this is kind of what I do. This is like what I'm trying to do with my life.
Yeah.
So you want to feel like they're taking it seriously to a degree.
Yeah,
or
well,
not.
some people like they want that regular, which is fine. Like that, like go to the job, go to your job,
course.
come home, live. Like that's
Sta-
fine.
the quote unquote stability,
It's not what I
whatever,
wanna do.
like in that.
Yeah,
that,
so
yeah.
I mean, I know you pretty much answered that question already because I did want to get to that. And like for our perspective, it's like I don't know if I'll ever make money off this podcast, and it's not.
I would
really-
absolutely love
and
to.
it's not really the goal for me.
Yeah.
yeah,
This is the podcast has already been kind of like a stepping stone for me for what I do 9 to 5, which is
Yeah.
the same thing,
Yeah.
essentially.
And that's awesome.
So like I don't know if that like because sometimes like people like do you want to make money off of it, and I just kind of like I don't.
Genuinely, when people
that's
ask
a
me
good
that,
answer though.
no,
Like,
it's
if I was like coming on here
And we
getting
made money-
upset about like the fact that I'm not making money, I'm like I think that's when you have an issue with
Yeah,
content
that's-
creation.
'cause there's no
if you're
point.
going into it and be like, man, if I'm not making $100 a week by the end of
20 whatever.
Q2 of this year, then fuck
Yeah.
it. Like I'm like
And
that's
again,
the bad.
there's a
Yeah,
balance.
it's that way to
I
do
think
it.
there's a balance there, like in the
There
way
is.
of if that's all you're. I think having that goal of wanting to do something definitely helps, and I think that will obviously help people who that's what they're going for. But like you said, this is a nice stepping stone for you. This is something cool I can put on my resume that I talk a lot. I feel like I'm a good interpersonal communicator now because of this, and there are certain things, but mostly I'm here because I fucking love to bullshit
Yeah.
about movies,
Right.
video games, and TV shows.
And it's not bad to that wanting to be your job, or it is a stepping stone. I like there's ways to make content creation just that, a stepping stone.
Or
like,
and it could also just be your hobby.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like
that
like
is
that's
true.
like it could just be you like to do it. It's fun to do.
I saw content creation as a way to make more money to play more music.
Exactly,
Well,
especially
it's like an investment.
with what you're doing. It makes so
What do you
much
actually
sense.
do for work?
So, when the pandemic happened, I lost my other terrible shitty job was like cold calling people.
Oh.
And then I was like, for a few months, I was like, I'm gonna bunker down and really figure this out.
Sure.
So I'm gonna invest and take the time. I was working just all day, every day, just like trying to figure out courses.
Were you
and
doing like
things.
sales?
Yeah, at the other place. But then I was like, all right, I'm gonna figure out a guitar course, and all this stuff failed, but I learned a lot from it. But then
yeah.
I got into content creation, and then I ended up getting people call it a real job, whatever. I do make content for a real estate company and an interior design company.
Oh, okay.
Kind of do. Well, I mean, yeah, my sister does that essentially.
Like I was like, I can't sit at a desk I can't. It's not for me. I know it's not for a lot of
There
people.
No, of
is-
course.
for
No,
some-
I hear-
for- it's very funny because I think my personality and like how I come off is not like that, but like there is like some solace.
Really? You
and
like it?
piece of like, I hate working from home. I fucking
Yeah.
hate it.
Yeah.
I don't like being at my house 9 to 5 all day.
Every day. Yeah.
I like shit. I play and I work all in the same room over there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
annoying.
he takes a dump right on the couch. Actually, he doesn't move. It's all in the same
I
room.
do go to the bathroom upstairs.
Yeah.
There's no bathroom down here. But like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
No,
like,
I hear
and
you.
And I miss the office. And that's where I'm kind of like, if this was my job, it would be very interesting. I don't think I'd hate it, but it would just be a different schedule.
Well, we'd probably just be doing so
And
much more.
my sister works from
Genuinely.
home.
Like, yeah.
And she doesn't have an office, but she has her own company, but she works from home. And I'm just like, I don't know how she's disciplined at this point.
See, it's so funny because for me, I'm like,
But she also never stops.
I
working.
want everything else back in person except for work and like school. And like, I don't mind like that stuff. I don't mind.
I just
not,
want everything to
There's pros and cons.
No, there definitely is, and it's weird because who the fuck knows when that will happen. I mean, when were you supposed to go back, Gooch? Was there like ever a time? Did they ever have a time where they were like,
No.
Because for my roommate's job, it was like you're coming in 3 months for the past like 12 months or something. Like so,
we've never had a
so.
thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting.
So, are you always work from home, or do they have an office you could go to if you want?
I have
to?
an office that I can go to, but I'm mainly just in the field all the time. I just literally.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm literally just
You're
taking
videoing
videos and
stuff, yeah.
editing. I just like what I do for my own stuff, and it's fine. It's fine for me.
Wow,
It's not-
I didn't know we were kind of cut from the same cloth like that.
But but it's crazy because I got that because the time I took off to learn all that stuff.
There you go.
Like that's
My
like,
podcast
that's what-
got
did
me
the
this
degree-
job,
the
or
degree
my
I
job.
have didn't get me this job. Is like the
I was gonna.
experience-
Hopefully, that's not too much of a personal question.
ask
But did
me,
you
I don't
you got a degree or like you went to college? Did you get or did you?
Yeah, I mean,
So
I still.
what was your degree in?
my majored in marketing,
Okay.
and music.
So it's sort of what you're doing now, kind of. But
Yeah, but like they didn't ask for my resume.
yeah, it's frustrating, man.
They didn't give a shit. I mean, they didn't give a shit. I went to college.
They looked at your.
They saw
They
my-
saw
they
your
saw
work.
what they
saw
wanted
my
to see.
Yeah, they
They saw your
like,
experience. They saw
Yeah.
you.
That's all you need.
Yeah, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Well,
a lot
dude,
of people
it's so
think
funny.
they
I'm
do.
like,
you don't need to go.
Like
yeah.
looking at jobs and stuff. Like it'll say, all right,
especially for you.
fresh out of college, internship, 6 years experience, please, thank you. It's like
No.
What?
You have to show
what?
them
That's
you can-
not even
yeah.
that's
I
not
agree.
that's not even a
I mean, dude,
possible thing.
impossible.
Even still, like I'm trying to find a job in the video game industry. That's ultimately what I want to do. It's pretty obvious, and it's still really hard. Like I have experience now, but like the job market's competitive, especially for video game industry. Everyone and their mom wants to do that. It's like I don't want to just like I don't want to be a streamer. Streaming, like I've streamed. I mean, you stream the podcast, obviously. Thanks for watching twitch.tv/Delco Network.
Thank you.
But
plug.
like playing games on Twitch, like I watch a lot of Twitch, but like I don't know if I could ever want to do that. It's
a lot of work.
I tried streaming like
in
twice.
college. I worked as a video editor for somebody who was a YouTuber and went to Twitch.
Yeah.
And they were like, I don't have time to edit my videos. Do you want to do it? And like as a volunteer, and I was like, sure, because I was a fan of his, and I was like kind of honored that he asked. So I did.
You're like a little, almost
And
like an internship
and
type
then,
deal.
And then
Yeah.
it went to an internship, and then I was getting paid for a little bit, but like at one point I was like, I can't doing this on the side. Like you're not paying me enough. I can't.
Yeah.
And it was fine. It was
no,
cool.
it was
like,
amicable.
I just
Yeah,
got
yeah.
my first job out of college. Like I did want to focus on that too and not be bogged down. But like I'm now at the point where I'm like maybe I should take freelance work and
You
do
could,
stuff on the
dude.
side.
They
to
would
make
build
more
your
money.
resume up a little bit.
And
Absolutely.
because also while I'm working at home,
You have that time.
I got time.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
dude, I
We
mean,
really,
like,
only,
I'm-
we're really only working a
How
couple
long was
hours.
your
Yeah.
commute every day?
to work
Yeah.
like 10 minutes. I only worked
Still
at
20
New
minutes. I
High
mean,
School.
no, but still, I mean,
Yeah,
like
but I'm
all
at the
that
office.
stuff. Yeah,
when
exactly.
I'm here,
yeah.
I can.
Exactly. No, but that's what I mean. Like, there's
A
so
lot of
much stuff
podcasts
that add up.
work gets done during the work day.
No, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I needed the book I'm reading. It was like you don't want to. You want to make money to make more art. You don't want to make art to make more money.
Boom.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
key.
So,
And on
like,
that, we can. No.
Yeah,
No,
and
that-
thank you for having me.
Yeah. No, that's.
I'm out. Tip of that.
But then that's kind of put it in perspective. I was like, I was making some money doing my own stuff. I was like, I still don't have enough to kind of survive and thrive. So
Sure.
I got the other content job, and it definitely takes a lot more time out of my day. But I
It
can
allows you to
afford-
do what you're doing.
I can do everything and more.
And you're still at home. Right.
Yeah, I'm still at home.
Yeah, just like me in my mom's
Just like
basement.
half of everybody else.
No, dude,
but at the same time, like, because I always say, I'm like, I can't wait to move out so we can.
Losers. No.
I can't wait. I can't wait to move out so we have more space for the podcast. Because I'd love to like switch up the set and like I told
Absolutely.
you, I'm like, welcome to the mess. The first thing I
No,
said to you
it
when
would
you
be
came
nice
down
if
here.
I could go over to Gooch's, and this is just sitting there, and we just
Right,
pull up the.
ready to go.
Yeah.
Whenever
I
like,
did.
2 in the morning.
Thank God I remembered that because I did want to talk about your setup. So how do you have your like? I think you've told me before, but for the sake of the podcast,
Yeah, no, it was.
how do you have everything set up?
It was just the basement of the house. It was my dad redid it a bunch of times. It turned into a bunch of different rooms. No one was using it, so it was always my guitar room.
Sure.
And it slowly formed into what it is. It's pretty. I mean,
The set.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
my desk, all my amps, guitars, and that's pretty much it. But behind the camera, it's
Mess.
terrible. No, this looks great compared to
I
mine.
mean, like it's realistically just my desk, but like there's just not the only thing I don't like
It
about
is funny.
this.
Just
I just
cut
don't
off
have a lot
right
of room.
here. You guys aren't seeing the
Like,
pillows and the nice
Gino is
everything.
always sleeping
Gino's
on this
sitting
couch
there. Yeah.
during
He is
like
the podcast
most
dog.
podcasts. He
Yeah.
just sits there and
We
sleeps.
should just get a pillow for him to sit on the table.
That would bring
and then
in
he
the
just
views.
sits. But,
Gino's only made a few appearances on podcasts.
Yeah, I'll pull him up every once in a while.
I have a very like short like fuse with him. I mean,
yeah.
Gino, get the fuck out.
I
of
think
here,
the issue usually is the jingle jangle on his
his
neck.
collar.
So
Yeah.
once you take that off, it's not usually a big
Mr.
issue.
Finn, my dog, he sometimes makes.
What's his name?
Mr. His name's Finn.
Mr. Finn? I love it. No, that's amazing.
I mean,
That's
trust me, Gino's got some nicknames that I don't want to necessarily
Yeah.
repeat.
Let's not get into that today.
My sister's come up with a plethora.
Yeah.
I really like human names for dogs. That's
Yeah.
like George, my brother's dog.
Gino.
That's like I don't
Yeah,
know, it's just
yeah.
funny to me because then
It-
like, when
it
it's
is
Everyone's
funny.
like,
I
dog's
gotta
name is
take.
Gino. That's like the most Italian thing I've ever heard. I'm like, I think I named him too.
But I like the human names because then I can be like, I'm taking George out to shit, and people are like, you're taking your friend George out to shit. What's going on? Yes, correct. But dude, that's awesome. I'm glad it's working out well. It looks. I was looking over your YouTube. It looks really cool. It looks
Yeah.
very professional too. Like the
Yeah,
camera,
that's good. That's nice.
The camera looks great. Yeah, no, genuinely,
Perspective. Thanks.
for sure. But
Just takes time.
how is Dead Pockets really played into it, or hasn't it?
A
how
lot.
big is your band, by the way? Sorry, we're close.
5-piece, 2
Okay.
guitars, bass, drums, singer.
Okay.
Well, so like what I actually want to do for a living is I want to be a touring musician. I want to be a session musician and things like that. That's like my main goal. But being with the band kind of helps me with content ideas.
Sure.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So like we're recording an EP starting next week, and we're having a
Congrats.
bunch of live shows.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you. And we're gonna try and vlog it and kind of just do. those
Yeah.
sort
Dude,
of
it's a great
things.
idea. I mean,
Just kind of from point A to point B.
That's great, dude.
Yeah, it comes with a bunch of different ideas.
and so how
Yeah.
long have you guys been doing that? Have the band together?
I met in 3 years,
And then when did you get the singer? You said.
probably last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my cousin was like did that for a little while. It's like he's married, doesn't have a kid, but like I don't think he ever wants to do it again. Like, and he toured and stuff.
Dude, I was talking to the one
I
guy.
just want I need to try it. I can't.
Dude, you got to
not
give it the
do
shot. Yeah,
Right, oh,
absolutely.
for
Yeah.
sure. But I'm like, it's definitely. I'm like,
And this is the
Yeah,
time
it's
to
a
do.
lofty
That's
goal.
the time
For
to do it
everybody, yeah.
before you have your kids, whatever. You get
you
married,
are,
whatever
yeah.
you want to do.
yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, dude, I was talking to the one guy at the Grape Room when we were there the one time. He was coming in to set up, and I was like, "How long of a drive did you guys have down here?" He's like, "Yeah, we drove up from I think it was North Carolina or South Carolina. Like it was an
man, that's what
insane
bands
ride."
do.
And he's like, "Yeah, we're driving back tonight." I'm like, "Huh."
Yeah, I want that because the bass player's is like shitty van and like it's like perfect.
Yeah, you could
Like we just like for like 2 weeks.
classic.
dude, just to roll.
Just
no,
do
that would
it,
be awesome, man.
Try it.
And that's an
See how it
experience
is.
for sure
Exactly.
too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
and guess
That's
what?
up
You
there
come
on
back
the-
and you find out it sucked, then you don't do
You're
it,
like, that
or
wasn't
you
my
find
thing.
out it's amazing.
You love it and you want to keep doing it.
Exactly.
You got to do it though. So
Just do it,
we'll see when
as
that
Nike
happens.
says.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I think before we kind of wrap up, I guess in the vein of kind of earlier I said like somebody asked me like what's if to any like content creators like what would my advice be? What would your advice be before we sign out?
Just a few things, I guess. Just get started. Don't think about all the technicalities of things. Just do it. You'll figure it out. And don't listen to stupid people.
I think those are 3 great things, or 2.
There's nothing. There's
Whatever.
not.
One,
yeah,
7
yeah,
things.
yeah.
Not to go deep dive on this, but I don't think there's anyone who's ever like convinced me like that the podcast was a bad idea.
Well, yeah. That's that
But there
person's
are
so
those
miserable.
people.
They're out there.
I don't even think it's like that they've convinced, but you definitely see a reaction. You know what I mean? Of like,
Yeah.
oh, podcast. I see.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
What
Like-
the fuck does that mean, dude?
I get it.
don't
We'll
know.
fight after this. That's fine. No,
Yeah.
no, that's what it is. But that's cool, man. Awesome. Is that, I think, it
Yeah,
for us, guys?
Where can people
Yeah,
find
where
you,
can we
Matt?
find you, Matt? What's your YouTube channel called again?
It's just your name and
Matt
guitar.
Kelly,
Matt Kelly
Matt Kelly
yeah.
guitarist. TikTok is Matt Kelly. I don't even know.
Go find it. Matt Kelly.
I got it.
Matt
You'll
Kelly
figure it
guitar
out.
on those things.
I
I
got
did
the
have it
TikTok.
up. Yeah,
I'll help Matt
follow
out.
God, I should probably know that
Matt
stuff.
Matt Schmelly guitar.
That's my Instagram. Is it Matt?
No,
Schmelly?
I think that's your. I think
Yeah,
that's on
Matt-
TikTok.
Matt Schmelly
Matt
guitar.
Schmelly guitar. So
Check it out.
On
so
TikTok.
Schmelly as in SHMELLY.
I gotta change that.
No, I like that. I think that's pretty
that's
good.
a high school nickname.
I know.
Matt Schmelly. No, that's great. Awesome. Anywhere else? Twitter? Is there any other social medias you want to follow you on?
That's it.
That's fine. All right.
And again, the links are in the description
Absolutely.
for everything.
Guys.
Thanks for having me on here, guys.
Of course,
I appreciate
man.
it.
Yeah,
Thanks for
well,
coming
definitely.
on. It was great.
Anytime. I'm glad. Thanks for coming on.
It really is cool to connect with people doing stuff like. We've talked with Alex. We've worked with Emma. Who's not really doing like content. She's literally making.
We are the
physical items.
I was actually thinking about because I want to get some along these lines.
Dude.
through her.
Reach out to her.
She did
Do
a
it.
stellar job.
make
Genuinely.
me a
Now that you've seen the table in
Make
action,
me a whole guitar.
Yeah, just make it. Dude, there's one guy, just a quick sidebar on TikTok I followed. He makes like these modular guitars. Have you seen them? He like literally, I don't know what's the board underneath the actual string called? Like under
The body.
I guess so. Like he's like swapping out like different.
They call it pickups.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looked insane.
I think I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
It looked pretty interesting. I don't know
Yeah.
much about it. I don't
No,
know how
you
well it
should
would
look
work,
for it.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd like to check it out.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you've been with us live on twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network, we very much appreciate you. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network. We have a Facebook page. We have a Discord channel you can join. We're on all the social medias at Delco Nerds on basically everything. You can email us, delconerds@gmail.com. We'd be happy to get back to your comments, questions, or concerns. But all this information can be found on our website, delconerdnetwork.com. And while you're at it, if you could drop us some reviews on Spotify or iTunes, it really helps us out and does a lot of stuff. Again, check out Matt on all his stuff. Thank you so much for coming on. For Gooch, for
Cheers.
Matt, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.